weeping philosopher, ascribed the theory that Heraclitus did not complete some of his works because of melancholia to Heraclitus. He was referred as the weeping philosopher as opposed to Democritus, who is known as the laughing philosopher. Heraclitus' life. He was born at century 535 BC at the Ephesus Ionian Persian Empire. He was died at century 475 BC, aged around 60. Heraclitus lived in Ephesus, an important city on the Ionian coast of Asia Minor, not far from Miletus, the birthplace of his philosophy. His father was named either Blosson or Heraclius. The main source for the life of Heraclitus is Diogenes Laertius. Although some have questioned the validity of his account as a tissue of Hellenistic anecdotes, most of them obviously fabricated on the basis of statements in the present fragments. Heraclitus' philosophy. First is the Logos, the idea that all things come to pass in accordance with this Logos. The Logos is common. It is expressed into two famous but obscure fragments. This Logos holds always, but humans always prove unable to understand it. But before hearing it and when they have first heard it, for though all things come to be in accordance with this Logos, humans are like the inexperienced when they experience such words and deeds as I set out, distinguishing each in accordance with its nature and saying how it is. The meaning of Logos is also a subject to interpretation. Word, account, principle, plan, formula, measure, proportion, reckoning. Though Heraclitus quite deliberately plays on the various meaning of Logos, there is no compelling reason to suppose that he is used in a special technical sense, significantly different from the way it was used in ordinary Greek of his time. Second philosophy, Phantare, everything flows. The phrase Phantare, everything flows, either was spoken by Heraclitus or survived as a quotation of his. This famous aphorism used to characterize Heraclitus' thought comes from Simplicius, a Neoplatonist, and from Plato's Cratylus. The word "re" is the Greek word for to stream, and is etymologically related to Rhea, according to Plato's Cratylus. The philosophy of Heraclitus is summed up in his cryptic utterance. Ever newer water flows on those who step into the same rivers. The quote from Heraclitus appears in Plato's Cratylus twice. All entities move and nothing remains still. Everything changes and nothing remains still. And you cannot step twice into the same stream. Third philosophy, Hodos Anokatu, the way up and the way down. The structure Anokatu is more accurately translated as a hyphenated word, the upward-downward path. They go in simultaneously, instantaneously, and result in hidden harmony. A way is a series of transformations, the turnings of fire, first into sea, then half of the sea to earth and half to rarefied air. The transformation is a replacement of one element by another. The death of fire is the birth of air. The death of air is the birth of water. This world, which is the same for all, no one of gods or men has made. But it always was and will be an ever-living fire with measures of it kindling and measures going out. His latter phraseology is further elucidated. All things are interchanged for fire, and fire for all things, just like goods for gold and gold for goods. Heraclitus considered fire as the most fundamental element. He believed fire gave rise to the other elements and thus to all things. He regarded the soul of being a mixture of fire and water, with fire being the noble part of the soul and water the ignoble part. A soul should be therefore aimed toward becoming more full of fire and less full of water. A dry soul was best accordance to Heraclitus' worldly pleasures made the soul moist, and he considered mastering one's worldly desires to be a noble pursuit which purified the soul's fire. Normal Melchior interpreted Heraclitus as using fire metaphorically in Leo of Lugus as the origin of all things. Fourth philosophy, Dichotomous. Strife is justice. If objects are new from moment to moment, so that one can never touch the same object twice, then each object must dissolve and be generated continually, momentarily, and an object is a harmony between a building up and a tearing down. Heraclitus calls the oppositional processes epic-eris, means strife, and hypothesizes that the apparently stable state, justice, is a harmony of it. We must know that war failmus is common to all and strife is justice, and that all things come into being through strife necessarily. As Diogenes explains, all things come into being by conflict of opposites, and the sum of things, the whole, flows like a stream. In the bow metaphor, Heraclitus compares the resultants to a strong bow held in a shape by an equilibrium of the string tensions and the spring action of the bow. There is a harmony in the bending back as in the case of the bow. The fifth philosophy, Hephaestai to Kaino, follow the common. People must follow the common and not live in having their own judgment. He distinguishes between human laws and divine law of God. By God, Heraclitus does not mean the Judeo-Christian version of a single God as primum mobile of all things, God as creator, but the divine as opposed to human, the immortal which we tend to confuse with the eternal, as opposed to the mortal, the cyclical as opposed to the transient. It is more accurate to speak of the God and not of God. He removes the human sense of justice from the concept of God. Example, humanity is not the image of God. To God all things are fair and good and just, but people hold some things wrong and some right. God's custom has wisdom, but human custom does not, and yet both humans and gods are childish. In experience, human opinions are children's toys, and eternity is a child moving counters in a game. The kingly power is a child's. Wisdom is to know the thought by which all things are steered through all things, which must not imply that people are or can be wise. Only Zeus is wise. To some degree, then Heraclitus seems to be in the mystic position of urging people to follow God's plan without much of an idea what they may be. In fact, there is a note of despair. The fairest universe is but a heap of rubbish piled up at the last philosophy, ethos anthropoi daimon. Character is fate. This influential quote by Heraclitus has led to numerous interpretations. Whether in the context, daimon can indeed be translated to mean fate. is disputed, however it lends much sense to Heraclitus' observations and conclusion about human nature in general. While the translation with faith is generally accepted as encamped a man's character is his divinity. In some cases, it may also stand for the soul of the departed.